Oh, no?
Wait. Okay.
This is why people have like a team. So someone is like telling you what to do.
Correcting.
Yeah, I mean, it's all left to us. That's why it's always
Struggle bus.
shit show. Okay, now. Dear Abby Normals,
Welcome to Deeply Disturbing Things.
the podcast.
I'm Macie.
And I'm Naomi.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're three anxious counselors who like to talk about deeply disturbing things.
We're here to educate, enlighten, and entertain you.
Oh man, we're getting so good.
Let's dive
That was
in.
mood.
I go first.
Okay.
Okay, so my topic, per the usual,
You
I
made it
had
on the drive over.
I had no preparation whatsoever. About an hour before, this is part of the reason I ended up being late. I see a sign for an estate sale. And so I go and check this out. I ended up purchasing for $40 this Singer sewing machine table that's like all intact, super nice, super nice sewing machine table at this estate sale. Very nice. Worth way more than $40.
Yeah.
So yes,
Skylar just deconstructed
look up
one of the turbines and he's turning it into a self-perpetuating energy machine.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see that one.
Stay tuned for more.
Like it
info on
has,
that.
it's like really intricate.
Very ornate.
It is very
I'd like
pretty.
to do a rubbing on that.
I don't know what that means, but I kind of want you to not rub on it.
It's not that kind of rubbing.
So this was my first estate sale. Have either of you ever been?
Are
to
you
an estate-
fucking kidding
I've
me?
never been to an estate
I
sale.
haven't.
I used to date Nate. We used to estate every
Oh,
weekend.
right, because he had like thrift stores, not thrift.
He owns a bookstore.
bookstore.
Yeah. So we used to go out
More
every.
haircut stuff on your. I can't.
I got a haircut today. So.
There we go. Beautiful.
So we used to go out every weekend. It was super fun, hit all the estate sales, and like he'd be looking for books and I'd be just wandering around looking for treasures.
Right. And so
I mean, I grew up on yard sales, estate sales, thrift stores.
Next
That's
month
my
I used to
jam.
Sell stuff out of a antique store. Like she had her own
Yeah.
shop, and now she'll like buy stuff at yard sales, and then
I got this secondhand, this fabulous fox sweater, and I got these fabulous wool pants secondhand in Portland.
I like those pants. So all
You got candy secondhand?
No.
Oh no, it's thread.
all the
I'm like, I
no.
kind of draw the line.
I told you beforehand I have goodies, but not food. I specified. So
I'm just a little hungry.
all the drawers were completely full with like random old buttons, the original sewing box. I just grabbed a few like interesting things out of it.
You know
that
what they
were
call
super
those?
cool.
Notions.
What's a notion?
Like little sewing thingies.
So these are the sewing machine is from 1913.
Podcast topic name. Notions.
1913, but see, like wooden, like all the thread things are all wood with like the original companies.
I have
This
a whole
is
jar of wooden threads at home.
Transparency bending tape with this cool little rolly
I
bob.
love mending tape.
Bob's.
And then check out this. Okay, this is called a thimble. A thimble, right? But look at this. So first of all, I'm going to read it says Mother Shipton, England's most famous prophetess, 1488 to 1561. Look at this scary ass lady.
Hold on.
Okay, put your glasses on. She has a witch's hat, does she not? Does she not have
She does.
a witch's hat?
And what does it say again?
It says Mother, and I haven't even had time
Mother
to look this up
Shipton,
yet.
England's most famous prophetess. So it must be some
1488.
kind of wizard.
I need to look her up.
But like, what does she have in her hands, and what is she
She's
doing? She
prophetizing.
clearly has eaten children.
Yeah, that looks like a Hansel and Gretel
Scenario.
situation with the house in the background.
So
Do you even know how to sew?
no, I have no
Oh.
idea.
Mother Shipton's cave.
Oh yeah, and that's what it says underneath. Mother Shipton's cave. Like, what is
Somewhere
that?
you can go. It was
I know.
probably like one of those
So
stories you'd
No,
frighten
no.
your children with.
So more news to come on this, but it's actually it says bone china on the inside, England, with the
That's a
actual
kind of
stamp.
china.
Yeah, right. So
It doesn't
I-
mean it's
boning china,
made,
right,
made out of
Made-
bones.
right.
of
Bone
children.
china.
It's not made out of the bones of children, if that's what you were hoping.
No, I mean, sort of, now that you
I
said
know.
that, now I wish that. So I will follow up. I have to investigate that further, but I thought that was interesting. Again, I did this like right before I came here.
Yeah.
And then like interesting little, like, so this has needles in it, but it's like a really cool old pack. Old buttons are fun. I brought some of those.
I think you need to learn how to sew.
Well, this thing, I looked it up and it's like a $500 sewing machine that I got for
Or you
40
can go
bucks.
to that, what's that
This-
roadshow?
I don't.
Oh,
I'm not
Antiques
gonna do
Roadshow.
that. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that. And it had this box of all the original Singer, so it's a Singer sewing machine. All the original like alterations you could do with the different needles that have never been used, which are super cool. And then this was in there, which I thought was really,
Is that a bracelet?
it's a bracelet and it has like a weird, I can't tell if it's an elephant on it. I was hoping you all could help me with that. So I know it's
Yeah.
less interesting for folks watching since you get to touch this stuff, but
It looks like an elephant body, but then
I
I don't
know.
understand what's happening with the head.
I think it's a turtle. Oh, no, it's an elephant. I'd like to do a rubbing on that too.
Let me see this.
I just like to rub on things.
Will it focus? Do
no. Okay.
Oh.
So, I wanted to talk a little.
So,
Cool.
Thing. Okay, so good.
I think you have to bend it in more of a wrist-like
I don't
shape.
mess it up.
But I thought it was interesting. So all of this was in the actual sewing machine drawers, and endless buttons and other little odds and endsies. So
Give it
Notions.
back to
all these notions. So it made me think about estate sales, because when you actually like go into the people's house, which I thought was
Ah.
really like creepy, because you like walk room to room. I went down in the basement and I felt fine at first in the living room. And so this is where I'm tying in with the little ghost rod thing that happened at the party.
Dowsing rod.
Dowsing rod, called a ghost rod. Ghost rods.
Napkins on there.
and so fine in there, fine in the first room that kind of felt like an office. And then there was like a different room and I was like, I don't even want, like my anxiety went up really high. I didn't even want to be in that room anymore. And then we walked to the very end room. So I was there with my boyfriend and so he was with me, but even we both walked up and it was like a kid's room with kid stuff in it. And we both were like, nope. And we turned to like, not even. But like there's definite vibes in there and it was all older stuff, but like, how would you guys feel about going into like, you don't know who died, first of all, how they died. These people are actually, and I'm going to talk about the people that go in there, like they're paid estate people that do the selling. So it's usually not the family that's there.
Yeah, I usually hire a company.
Right. Like buying things from estates. So like people are buying clothes and they're just like laughing like they're at a thrift store sort of deal. And it to me the vibe is so different than just going thrift store shopping.
Yard sale.
Yeah, like it feels very personal. I feel, and maybe because it's my first time, but I feel very
I
invasive.
kind of have this a little bit of a belief that energy can be attached to objects, and if you bring certain objects into your home that have some kind
Oh
of
yeah,
negative vibe going
100%.
on, like,
I got this jeans vest once. Had nothing but bad luck. I fucking threw it in the garbage.
same.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
kind of feel that.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
I've never really had anything, but I think that it could happen.
100%.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, there's no way that there's can't be
Well, when
some
you
energy in
walk through
there.
those antique shops or anywhere, and you can kind of just feel like as you're walking through, I can kind of feel like a weird difference of energy. I don't know, that's just me, but
Yeah,
sometimes
well,
weird.
I mean, if they have family, typically the family goes through and gets all the stuff they want first, and then they sell the rest to an estate person who they get to price everything. They're in
Right.
charge of it so that they
Part of
make their money.
part of my research was showing that like a lot of newer generations are like don't want their parents garbage, like I don't want their house full of stuff because many don't have the same sort of like big homes to then take a bunch of stuff. So many people are like, just get rid of it. I don't want, sell it,
That's
give me
like
the money.
Swedish death cleaning. Do you remember that? I was telling you about that.
Yeah, where you prepare.
You well, it's a ritual where you the parents like minimize and get rid of everything.
It's a
later on in
kindness
life.
to your kids.
Yeah, so you don't burden your children to have to
Yeah.
go through everything and feel sad.
Yeah, my sister straight up told my mom she's not going through anything.
So
Really?
She does.
get rid of it now, or we're
She's like, go through it now. I'm not going through any of those boxes. She straight
Wow.
up told her that.
Wow, that's nice. I mean, I get it. I get it on some levels because I mean, I'm sure there's lots of stuff that I'm gonna be like, I don't want this.
It's a lot to go through it.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a lot of stuff.
I've had to go through it with a couple houses, when my grandma died, I, went and helped with that. And when my great aunt died, it was me and my kids were responsible for the whole thing. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, it feels invasive. And also, like, you have to decide if it's important or not, which is a burden.
Mhm.
Right.
So I went through my stuff years ago. I cleansed everything.
I love that.
There's nothing,
That's
my
good.
kids are not going to find any dirty, weird secrets. It's
That's-
all gone.
That's for sure.
Good on you.
Yeah.
So I found some people who work for these like estate companies and got some of their perspectives. And one kind of scary-ish story was this woman was going through, her team was gone, and she was starting to go through the bedroom of this elderly woman's home that she had recently passed away. And so her job, she was going to go through the drawers and kind of sort through what was in there. Every single drawer, there's a piece of paper that said something along the lines of, don't touch my things. This isn't yours. And
Wow.
as someone going through that, and that's your job, like it feels really scary. And she said she felt very freaked out.
Mhm.
She found out that this woman had a caregiver that would come in, and she'd get very paranoid
Mm.
about her stuff being stolen. So there were notes left for the
That
caregiver, but
person.
you could imagine like being that person going in there being like, but then feeling like this person really didn't want people in her things,
Mhm.
and your job is to now sell it to people like that.
Like
Ah.
her spirit would be
Yeah,
coming
like-
at you like angry.
Like, what if
Mhm.
you like really did love something and have like a goal for that thing, but your family doesn't give a shit and it's gone? Like,
Well, that happens all the time.
yeah. Like this wonderful sewing machine I got. I am so happy about it. And they did not do any research on it.
Mhm.
So another one, so some people report seeing like things move in the houses. Many of the workers will talk about like feeling energy in the homes when because it's often, the family are usually, like you said, the first ones in there, and then they're kind of the first ones that's not family that is invading the space and moving things around. So they have a lot of reports of like either seeing or hearing loud noises. They said some people say that it's like some are more interesting than others. Some are quiet, no incidents. Others are like very energy filled, and they hear noises all over the place while they're in the
Mhm.
homes.
Around the corner from me, there's like, I live in a historic neighborhood. There's lots of big
That's
mansions.
in the corner.
Well, no, around on the other side,
Oh.
like I knew that lady. She lived alone in a big house, and then she passed away, and then it was an estate sale. And I went to it, and I felt really weird about it.
Mhm.
Cause like I'd known her but I'd never been in her house. Like we weren't that close.
Yeah,
Right.
just like
It was like we talked outside. We're outside friends.
I have no outside friends.
I do. Like, I'm good friends with my block.
Yeah. You talk to people
Yeah.
outside, but you don't necessarily go inside. So like to go into her house, and like I bought something
It's not working.
What was
on
it?
top of my
Stop.
right when you walk in, because she traveled the world. So she
Ooh,
had all
that's
kinds of
cool.
stuff from like China and stuff. So I have like a little Asian little dish that I got from her thing.
Oh, that's nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it felt invasive.
Mhm.
No, and I
When
couldn't
you know somebody, I'm gonna check the cam.
go ahead. Yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about like every room I went into. I'm like, who was it? Because it was interesting because the house, there was definitely like a man and a woman's room, like a bedroom, because there's mutual things in there that were man and woman things. The bathroom had mostly women things in it. And then the kids' room, tons of toys. But I'm like, was it the dude? Because everything was old. So
Do
it
they-
could have been either of them.
Do
It
they
could have been
tell
both.
you what happened if you
No,
ask?
I
the
doubt-
people?
I
Are they
bet-
allowed to tell you what
They
happened?
might
don't-
not even know, because they
Yeah.
might be hired by like the person's kids. Like,
Yeah.
hey, sell all this stuff. We don't want.
Yeah, I
that.
heard someone ask some sort of personal question about it, and the lady kind of gave a pretty uniformed answer of, we're actually we're hired, we're not related to anybody. Kind of a standard response to that. But yeah, it like makes me like, who was it? Like, I don't even like being in the room because like everything was in this house. It wasn't everything. Like,
Which makes you think like there must have been some tragedy or something.
Yeah, like, there
for
were-
you not to go back for all that stuff.
yeah,
for
like
all of your
it was a
stuff.
fully
kids.
loaded kids room, a fully loaded bedroom with both men and women stuff. Like, then they're just gone.
Yep,
Why?
the family may not have cared
Yeah,
about any of it.
any
you know?
of it. Yeah, I
No.
mean, literally everything. Basement,
I like how you
bedrooms,
make it sound
bathrooms.
nicer. Like they moved out of
They moved.
to a different country and yeah, have money and can just toss things aside.
Well, I mean, they get money from it. I mean, they're gonna pay a percentage or whatever to this company, but so okay. So some things that come up with this. So the fear of letting go is a big thing that these folks who do the estate sales deal with. So they have to often talk to families and talk about like the memories of your family aren't tied to objects, like, you know, take your few things, but like kind of almost counseling them on how to let go of objects. And I thought that was interesting because we do counseling. So
That's why my mom
I
has
see
a
that being very
garage
hard.
filled with dead people shit.
what? Do tell.
My mom's entire garage, you can't even park cars in there down in California.
Mhm.
It's filled with boxes of various close people that have died.
Mhm.
And like
Giving her
they
things.
have their stuff because they were the ones responsible for it. So like
Mhm.
their best friend stuff's in there, both of their mothers, my mom's dad stuff also.
Mhm.
Like it's all this dead people stuff in the garage.
Well, and I think that's the thing is like if you everything is important, then nothing's important because then it all just becomes a big mess. And if
Not
you're
know what
not
everything is.
using it or it's not like a reminder, I don't know. It seems like it can get messy pretty quick. Okay.
A lot of people have trouble letting go of things.
That's why
Clearing
hoarders
stuff and
become hoarders because you
Yeah.
get emotionally
Right.
attached to things, even useless things.
Yeah, and it's that like if I get rid of that, then I'm missing a part of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they deal with that a lot. Oh, and it's called estate sale industry professional. That's their official title. One of the statements they said that I liked was, when you let go, you create space for better things to enter your
That reminds me of Marie Kondo.
life. Yeah,
I like
creating
how she
space.
says, you know, like thank the object.
Yeah,
and then
thank
it's-
you for its service.
And it's
And then
easier
let
to
it go.
Yeah.
And then the guilt of letting go. So like just that idea that if you're letting it go, you're somehow doing something wrong, like you were talking about. Like if you've been trusted as the person to figure out what goes and what stays, there can be
Mhm.
some guilt along with that, because then the next part that happens are the greedy bitches. And I'll just say too, like conflict in family happens. So someone may be charged with setting up an estate sale, and then from all the stories I've read, these poor estate sale professionals often have to deal with angry relatives showing up at the site, neighbors
gosh.
even trying to like claim like that's mine or that was a gift, I
Neighbors
want this
even?
back.
Oh, gosh.
Mhm.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Naomi, like busting into
That's my China bowl. Yeah, and so I was like, oh, that would be horrible because you're really just trying to do your job at that point, and now
Mhm.
now someone's angry coming
I
in.
have to de-escalate.
Right. Well,
Oh.
and you literally can't give it to them. Like they have to purchase it, and you're making a family member purchase something that was there. Like, it feels
That's why
yucky.
you need to do living wills also. That's important. So then, yeah, you can have everything sorted out.
My grandpa, I loved him to death, but he poor choice of words.
Fun there.
Poor choice. I love my grandpa,
Mhm.
and he did not do any of that planning with my grandma or my family. He was very scared about talking about it.
Mhm.
He would never say that, but he also never planned.
Sure.
So it was something that got really just dumped on my grandma's lap to deal with. And it was hard. And family did like go in and like kind of
yeah,
pick
that's
through
so awful.
things and get kind of squabbly about things. And yeah, it's just not helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be responsible and have that shit sorted out,
Mhm.
and don't
But so
think it's
many
never going to
times.
happen to you, because it will.
Well, and I think I mean, not everyone, but so my grandpa was older with health problems. Like, it was logical to do it and he didn't do it. But I even think like younger people go, well, that's not going to happen to me. Like, I'm young.
Yeah.
Why would that happen? But like,
Yeah, I mean, I
happens.
think it depends on your situation. If you don't really have anything, you don't really need a will. But if
True. That's true.
like, and I've told my kids, like, everything's just split evenly between you, easy. So
Mhm.
you don't need to fight.
That's what my dad's like. He's like, I'm gonna just entrust it to you, and then you be fair and do what needs to be done to
Yeah, because when you can
nice
trust
out.
your kids and you
Right.
know that their personality types
And they
are-
like each other. They're not gonna like
Right.
stab each other in the backs or do anything weird. So
But if you have kids that you can see a fight brewing in the
Yeah.
future, like you better sort it out.
well, when I did my will, there's a whole section. Do you want to disinherit people who?
Ooh,
Yeah. And I'm like,
ooh.
no, not at this time, but you've seen that, in the movies anyway, where
Yeah.
people are on their deathbed and they call the lawyer in and make a change last minute, and it's very dramatic.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to be in that movie. I really don't. I mean, and I do think it could be a lot of families too who have their own, maybe, parents who have issues with their kids, or they've been already
Mhm.
separated. And then, when the person passes, there's just kind of this inherent, like, I'm owed something, because of our crappy relationship. And that alone can create problems, let alone just feeling like,
That's such a
Maybe
main
something
theme in the
there.
movie where it's all like a rich relative dies
Mhm.
and they're all in there like being greedy.
Right,
And then they
yeah.
leave it to like one person and then the rest of the family
They all
all fight
angry.
mad at that person.
I love it when they
Right.
show like a video of the person after they died, like where they're explaining it.
Well, and I think it probably like mostly lands in scenarios where, like, okay, you have 4 kids that split up evenly 4 ways. Like, I'm sure there's much more basic ways that goes to more than the movie version, but I don't know, maybe there's some spiteful people out there
We'll see.
trying to hurt their kids more.
Yeah. who
after death.
knows?
So that was my topic.
Well, are you going to learn to sew? That's my burning question.
I actually really want to. However, like, this is a pedal sewing machine, so I don't know if this is the thing that I learn on.
They're all pedal sewing machines.
No, like, it's
Yeah.
not powered.
Right, but they all use a foot.
Well, yeah, but that does a different thing. This like has a pump thing to make the
Yeah.
needle go.
Yeah, my grandma had one.
So, I mean, probably not, in all honesty, on this machine. I mean, I can't sew with my hands normally.
Oh,
Oh, I can.
I mean,
I
I can
can't
do
too.
I can do little ones, but maybe not in a straight line.
I wanted to be a fashion designer at one
Did you?
time, so I really knew how to sew pretty well at one time.
My mom is really good at it, and she has a sewing machine. She has a Singer sewing machine
My
too.
video keeps turning off, and I don't know why.
You're shipped in.
What do you mean? Can we? Okay, read it.
Oh,
Yeah.
what the?
What the? Oh my god! What is that?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh! Look at this picture. I got instant goosebumps. I don't like
Mother.
That is totally her.
Ew. What the?
Okay.
I feel
What
like
was
she's
Mothership
just
thinking this for?
a misunderstood awesome
England's most
lady.
famous prophetess.
Pettis.
She
Yeah.
foretold the fates of several rulers within and just after her lifetime, as well as the invention of iron ships, the Great Fire of London in
So she's kind of like
1666, and the defeat of the Spanish Armada.
a Nostradamus.
She worked something.
Yeah, I think future topic. You should do a follow-up topic next week just on Mother Shipton.
Hey,
Wait,
Okay, yeah, this might be.
All right, I'll
future-
sit on this. I will,
This might be for next week to like follow up.
we'll put a pin in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a whole.
I feel like
Okay. Oh my, okay.
Next week.
Don't look at it.
next week.
Ah,
I get,
what if this is worth my?
look, I got good. It's
What
not,
if it's
it's not.
million?
That's, let go of it.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Good find, Macie.
I think the thimble's the coolest thing out of the
Definitely.
whole lot.
The thimble is cool, these things. are cool.
TBH.
Mhm.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Oh, this bracelet does, by the way, say India on the inside of it, and it does have a number on it. So it is from India. I'm not looking, did you not put it in both? It's-
Oops.
Oh, no. What is it? Milli Vanilli.
Look at him. Gotta look at. This is my topic.
I know this scandal.
I don't.
Look at those shoulder pads.
Some good
Look at those
shoulder pads.
capris, those lycra capris. I always thought the one in the red was like super cute with the blue eyes.
Oh, zooming on our booty there. I've never heard this song.
Wow. I don't know all the whole thing.
All right.
Ooh, look, you have that crop top going.
No, they have a lot of stuff. I like the look in this video though, because it had the like super skin tight capri leggings with like the giant blazer with the super big shoulder pads. It's such a cool look. All right, I'm gonna
So
talk
black
about
from that era.
the scandal of Milli Vanilli. So there's a picture of them.
He's
So
quite pretty.
yeah,
Oh,
Rob is on the
beautiful
left with
eyes.
the beautiful eyes, and Fab is on the right.
Fab has a great jawline.
Yes.
Mhm. It's very fab.
I was just looking at the pictures still. Jeez.
Enough. for you.
Enough. She said enough.
Milli Vanilli.
You can,
That's where I want to be. Milli Vanilli was experiencing unheard of fame. So that song we just listened to, Girl You Know It's True, was on the Billboard Hot 100 for half a year.
I was about to say, I mean, you know, they're famous, but I've never, like, that song doesn't, I don't even know that song. I
You
can't
know
even
the
name
name?
one song, but I know the name.
What year?
89.
Are we typing? I'm sorry.
It peaked at
Oh,
number
okay.
2 in 89. So that was the year I graduated high school. And they joined this really cool Club MTV tour that year. They're going to tour with Paula Abdul and Tone Loc, which was another
Paula Abdul.
like big name back then. And so this was like the big next step.
What was Tone Loc's main song? It's a popular one. Oh, it's
Yeah.
like a, yeah, sorry for
No, what is
Sure.
it? Yeah, look it up.
it's one of those like you'll know it. If you
Yeah, it's super famous.
It's a famous one, but I can't-
So they were performing in front of this huge crowd in Connecticut in 89. And so they're doing their, trademark energy and their dance moves. And then the famous chorus came on. And suddenly the lyrics started repeating endlessly. Girl, you know it's, 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 girl,
Okay.
you know it's, 15 times.
Was it a ghost?
I knew right then and there it was the beginning of the end for Milli Vanilli.
Oh, I see. It happens all the time now.
Now.
So I'm
I
like,
know.
Rob told the LA Times in November of 1990, I panic. I just ran off the stage.
oh,
The group won anyway, the Grammy for Best New Artist that year. They beat out Tone Loc and the Indigo Girls.
Wild
Okay.
Thing.
Oh yeah.
wild
And
thing.
Funky Cool
No, not
Medina.
that Wild Thing.
I think so.
No, she's singing the like 60s one.
That's true.
Wild thing. You make my heart.
No, I was
sing.
thinking this one, not
Everything.
Grooving. No, not that one.
thing.
No, this is wild thing.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Wild
Wild
thing.
thing.
That actually was the tune that was going through my head though.
Oh,
Was that
okay.
the dun, 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 dun. But
Oh,
then you said the
then
other
there's
one,
the
and I was like, oh no, I know that one.
Yeah,
I know
funky cold
about
Medina.
3 seconds.
was a
of
good one,
both of those
too.
songs.
Yeah, I like that thing. So the name Milli
Funky Cold
Vanilli,
Medina. Is that, do you know?
that's Tone Loc too.
No, it was Funky Cold Medina.
What is
That's
a col-
Tone Loc.
What's a colmedina?
Yeah.
I knew it at the time. I don't know.
Mm.
It's something. It's
Do
something
you know it? Let
really
us
cold
know.
and funky.
There's lots we don't know. Clearly.
Cold and funky.
So
Cold.
Milli Vanilli, the name now is pretty much synonymous with the biggest lip syncing scandal in pop culture history.
Hmm.
Following the scandal, Milli Vanilli became a mockery, a joke. They were ridiculed, they were humiliated, they were hung up to dry, they were shamed,
Good
they were
reference.
ostracized, they were excommunicated,
Up-
and
this-
on
I'm
and
so
on.
impressed with you right now.
With what?
Is she reading that?
You-
Or is she-
Were you? I don't know. You did like 5
I was
like.
just synonyming.
were you reading?
I
or
love-
coming off
No.
the top.
I love
I was- yeah.
cinnamon
That was
toast.
impressive.
Yeah, no, that
I
was
see
like
her reading
5
that.
in a row. I was the.
Could go on and on. This backlash 100% targeted Rob and Fab. But they were not really the ones to blame. They were not the ones who orchestrated the ruse. They were not behind it.
Who orchestrated the
I'm going to get
ruse?
into it. The hate they received would end up having deadly consequences.
What? Deadly?
You'll hear.
They look so sweet. I bet they were sweet guys and had real talent.
Mhm.
Smells
But-
like a
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Before the scandal, Frank Farian, a white German producer,
Oh, he's a dick, isn't he?
wrote a
I
song,
just know it's gonna be bad.
and then he sang it, but highly enhanced the vocals. And then he hired a group of black lead singers to lip sync it. Boney M was the name of the group. I think it's pronounced Boney-M. actually.
Not Bone England, in case you're curious.
Right.
They had some big hits. In 1977, one of their big hits was called Ma Baker. This song was sampled by Lady Gaga, the Ma 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 Ma,
Oh, mama. That's
That's
interesting.
Ma
I didn't know
Baker.
that was-
Ma 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 Ma. I think it's Poker Face.
Mhm.
So even before, yeah, Ma 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 Ma.
I thought it was just her saying my, but like mama.
No, it's straight off of Ma Baker, this Boney-M song.
It's more complex than I.
It's so much more
thought.
complex. Everything is
As,
connected,
I keep
as it should
unfolding.
be, as it will be forever on and forevermore.
As it will be.
Spider
Throughout
web of
time.
complexity. We're so dumb.
Drink to that one.
So even before Milli Vanilli, this producer, Frank Farian, had experience with taking someone else's vocals and putting a pleasing public-facing front to them to
Mm,
make it successful.
mhm.
That was his formula.
Which is done all the time now, or
Is it?
I don't know, like isn't that the whole boy band or like
But-
thing in the 90s?
But it's other people singing the songs and they're just out lip syncing.
I wouldn't doubt it. Somebody out there's doing it.
They're definitely messing with the vocals.
Yeah, I mean, all the recording stuff where when you go to a live show and you're like, you sound nothing like your CD at all. And you should never do a live show again. You're really outing yourself.
Yeah.
So now Frank Farian had this song, Girl, You Know It's True,
Oh,
which we just listened to.
Mhm.
oh, it's that one. Okay. No, I don't
It
know
was
that one.
becoming popular in Europe. So he just needed pleasing faces to go along with this music group he needed to create.
Hmm.
Enter Rob and Fab.
Oh,
They were the pretty faces for the performances and the videos.
And the
And
dance moves.
then there were 4 vocalists behind the scenes.
Oh my gosh. So they never sang at all?
I didn't
They
know
never
that
sang
part
at all.
either. I thought it was just their own voices.
They never
Because
sang.
a lot of people will go on stage and have their own voices recorded and then they kind of sing over top of it.
Mind
or lip
blown.
sync.
Yeah, that's a
I
whole nother
didn't know
level.
It was different
Mm-mm.
voices. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
there were
good.
4 vocalists actually. So
That's where the panic comes when the music, when you said like he ran,
Because
that's,
you can't.
you
like,
run off the stage because like you can't, no.
Right,
You
right,
can't even
right.
try.
No.
Oh.
So when they got picked for this project, they were living in a housing project in Munich. So they were really broke. They had met each other on the dance scene and became friends. And Fab like described like when they would see each other, like they sort of saw each other for a while and they'd be kind of like eyeing each other, like kind of jealous at first and like kind of like, you know, territorial or whatever. But then eventually they're like connected and became like
Right.
really close friends. So, but I could see like, hey,
Friends or more.
he's got moves, just friends from my research. Like he's got moves, I've got moves. You know, I can kind of
Who's
picture
got
that.
the
It's
better
like
May-
a West Side
Like
Story,
maybe
like,
there's a dance off in there.
Oh my
I hope
gosh.
there was a dance
I
battle at some
hope.
point.
Oh
I
man,
hope.
I wish there could have been an audience.
So they
Brilliant.
became friends though, which is cool. Rob spoke German and Fab spoke French. So when they first met, they communicated in their non-native languages, English. So they both
Second
would talk
language.
in like a broken English.
Cool.
They were poor to the point that they stole food to survive.
Jeez.
So then here comes Farian along.
So they're like.
Now I feel
heck
really
yeah.
bad
Offering them
commenting on your
money.
beautiful facial features. It is literally the crux of this whole thing.
It is.
Wow.
Well, they could dance too.
Oh, I
They're
have not
pretty,
seen their dancing.
They could dance.
They look like they can dance.
They could dance. Yeah.
Yeah, they went.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
They
that.
do that shoulder.
I know. And it's even more enhanced with the wide shoulder
Yeah, it's like-
pads. If I find a jacket like that in a freaking thrift store
You're
or in
nowhere.
a estate sale, I'm gonna snatch
Can we
it
just
up.
There
all
might have
shoulder
been some.
Though we won't fit.
Okay, you both will be off camera.
Or we'll just be shoulder to shoulder. Because we won't have this problem. It'll just be like straight out.
It'll be like poking each other
Yeah.
constantly. It'll be yours will all be in my face.
So they got offered money, you know, to be the faces of this group. They came up with the name Milli Vanilli, and they agreed.
Of course they're gonna agree, right?
Well,
Who would
it was
say
like-
no if they're stealing food.
They'd
to
been
survive?
and they'd been really like trying to get famous with entertainment, with dancing, with singing. They both did actually sing.
So they were like, this might be our foot in the door.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah, that sucks when that thing that you don't do really well, but do okay, all of a sudden blows up and you're like, yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
really good at this. And I really don't make me do it in front of everybody.
Well, I mean, they had some
Uh,
talents, but that's not what they were picked
Right,
for. They
right.
were picked not to sing, they were picked to be pretty and dance.
That'd be me like, okay, so like I played accordion in a couple songs in a band. And then if they said, she's an accordionist, and they put me on stage and said, play us a song. No, I played notes.
No, they
That
would
was
have like
long.
a pro behind the stage and you'd be lip
Well, I know.
accordioning.
But then that's, but if that stopped, I mean, that would be horrifying because
It would, imagine.
I'm
terrifying.
like imagining.
Yeah.
I'm a living it in all of my mediocre skills.
So Rob and Fab signed contracts without a manager or lawyer present.
That's never good.
And Fab described this like contract that was like this fat.
no
Of
one's
course,
gonna
they're
read
not
it
reading
through.
everything. So in their mind, they were agreeing like, okay, we're gonna do this one song.
Mhm.
It's gonna get our foot in the door. We're gonna meet people, and then we'll be able to move on. Like they did not want to lip sync. They weren't excited about that.
Right.
But the
right.
money was enticing, and they thought, you know, we want to get in this industry, so
Right.
let's do this.
Sure.
It's like having the like, oh, so you're gonna be backup vocals. I mean, like you're gonna do it because you want to be part of the band still, but you're also like jealous that you're not friends.
Yeah, have you ever seen that documentary? I think it's called like 20 Feet from Stardom or something. It's super good. It's all about the backup singers of all the famous bands. It's very, very good. Yeah. Had Farian realized how popular the group would become, he may have realized that the dancers' accents would be an issue because they both had very thick accents, French and German.
Right.
But right now, like the song was just getting popular in Europe. So it was like, okay.
They wrote it off as.
So Farian didn't really know what was going to happen. So Rob and Fab would make appearances at the recording studio, but they never sang a note. And the real singers were brought in at night. So there was all this like hush hush
Secrecy.
and espionage and like who knew what. And it was a lot going on.
That's so like so purposeful.
Mhm.
Like that's so
And it's not like it was illegal. I mean,
no.
all part of it.
No, yeah.
But like most things, if you feel the need to hide it and sneak it in at night, it's probably
I
wrong.
totally agree with that. If you feel like you can't, if you have to be sneaky about things, and you're probably doing something you shouldn't be.
If they're coming in the back door at night, probably not a good.
So they were able to keep a music label rep from traveling to Germany by saying they wanted to retain creative direction. So Arista manager at the Times said it wasn't out of the question. Other producers would do their work and send it in. They just didn't want anyone in the studio with them because it's a creative professional distance a producer wants to have. I respected that, and there was no reason to think that it was anything other than that. So
Right.
it wasn't out of the norm to not have the record label reps like in the studio.
Right.
But Arista, I mean, that's a major label.
Well, and this is so long ago too. Like again, like that. I just probably hadn't. It wasn't a thing, so you don't think it's going to be a thing. You assume they're singing.
Unexpectedly, however, Milli Vanilli was catapulted into stardom.
I really do like that name.
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
Where do we know what it comes from?
Fab said they picked it because they liked the 80s band Scritti Politti, and
Uh-huh.
it was kind of like rhyming in the same way.
I don't know.
The music video for Girl You Know It's True became a huge hit all around the entire world. And Milli Vanilli also had 4 other hit songs. Blame It on the Rain.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You. And Baby Don't Forget My Number, which all hit
I know
number
that
one.
I feel
don't
like
remember that one.
I feel like I know that one.
I remember the rain one.
Baby, don't. Actually, maybe I don't know, man.
And
Maybe I
All or
really wanna
Nothing,
know.
which peaked at number 4. In short, Milli Vanilli exploded onto the scene and was everywhere globally all of a sudden, like in one summer. This all happened.
That's what's gonna happen for this podcast one day.
God help me.
One day.
Careful what you wish for.
I'm not wishing for that.
And with
actually.
that-
this makes me highly anxious.
The suspicion started to come.
Awful. Like extreme.
So every time we gave an interview, the reporters would hear my French accent or Rob's German accent, and they'd say, "No way, how could these guys have sung these songs?" Fab said, because they had thick accents.
Like heavy, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't native English speakers.
So it's like yeah.
I've heard that before though, where people will have like, I don't know if it's which way it goes, but like someone has a really thick British accent, but then they sing and it's kind of like cuts it and makes it sound more.
Yeah, but have you heard the
American.
Scorpions?
No.
Okay. They don't speak
Or-
English, and it's
maybe I
very
have.
obvious.
They don't what speak English?
No, they don't speak English.
And it's obvious.
It's very obvious in their
Oh.
English word songs.
Oh, what do they sing? I think that
Scorpions?
sounds familiar. Are they like a rock band?
Yeah.
I think I
Okay.
have heard of them.
I
can't
mean,
think of what they're
now I'm just going to be like, if you have an accent and you sing in English very well, you're lying to me, and I don't trust you at all.
You're gonna never trust.
I'm never going to trust you.
Trust no one.
Trust no one.
So Rob said, we didn't want to do any more interviews. The more we talked, the worse things got.
Yep.
Their former Arista product manager recalled the situation. I remember there were some words Fab couldn't pronounce. He had a pretty thick French Guadalupean accent. So on Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You, he couldn't say miss, he said miss. Which is fine. I mean, that's your accent, but when
But
you're
it's not matching.
when you're asked to like, yeah, say the lyrics or say the name of the song, even in an interview, it's gonna, people are like, what's going on? But the fans were absolutely obsessed.
Fans are unconditional.
So, well, at this point,
You'd be shocked that this is
In
not her real voice.
in a second,
That was a good one.
yeah, there's really somebody behind me. I'm just lip
Matching up
syncing.
so well.
So
Why?
Robin
Just for
Fab,
this one episode, 177 episodes later. All for this moment.
Right.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Someone did yell at me for interrupting you. Don't worry.
no, it's fine. Robin, I was just holding my breath until we were done talking, and then I was just going to continue my sentence. I can hold my breath for a long time because I do yoga.
We do a competition.
No, I just had my COVID booster. I feel like I feel like I can't breathe at all.
So they were mobbed. I mean, they were so popular. Cops had to come in and everything.
Can you imagine coming into our podcast, please?
Policemen were involved, but not because we're popular. It'd be something else entirely.
Definitely our internet searches and maybe the coffin in your
Maybe something
garage.
where the statute of limitations is not quite run out. Rob and Fab had originally planned to just do the one lip sync song and get out, but their contract had hooked them for 3 albums. And now, how could they get out? Plus, they were enjoying the fame. I mean, they went from
women
being super
men,
poor
power.
to having everything. Like they talked in the interviews how they could just get in a hotel room, trash the place, nobody would care, call down for food, get whatever,
I would probably
get
do
girls, get drugs, get whatever they wanted.
that. If we make it big, day 1, we get 1 day where we do that.
Trash a hotel room.
Trash a hotel room and do unspeakables.
I would feel really bad about that. I would take a pillow. Like, what does trashing consist of in your mind?
I mean, I know. See, this is where we're just bad for this. Like trashing is people are
I
actually
got
having,
a hotel, throw records on the wall.
it's like people
I
really
got
having
account
fun,
that pays
and
for it
trashing
all.
naturally happens.
It's like lots of wine would be spilled on the walls.
I mean,
Well, I did that when I was poor. That's nothing new.
Okay, it's true.
I got charged for that.
for what
Spilling
here
your drink?
Spilling
in your
wine
office?
on
The sheets.
a hotel wall.
Oh,
It was a roller derby road trip. I was rooming with
It wasn't
Booty.
from me throwing up vodka cran all over the
No,
floor
this
of
was
the hotel.
wine.
Oh.
I roomed with Booty at a spooky hotel outside of the German place,
Oh, Leavenworth.
Leavenworth, and we didn't bring a wine
Oh.
opener. So we're trying to use all these hacks, and
I was
finally
there.
I
I
just
was there with you.
had to
Yes.
claw my way. No,
Coat hanger? There were
No.
many nights, so this could.
yeah,
Sorry.
there's been similar nights.
Electric wine opener you can take everywhere.
Sorry.
I know this.
Sorry, I said sorry because I touched your foot again, in case you were wondering.
Oh, I didn't even.
And
That's
I just
fine.
were playing footsie. It's funny, and I don't do it to Naomi at all. It's only your foot that I keep.
Because my foot is impermeable.
Well, you're in shoes too. It's probably because you scare my toes. And they just know. They sense it.
My
You're
boots.
stomp.
I don't like it.
How much were you charged?
I was charged like $75, which is a lot of money.
My favorite memory is her headbutting a brick wall.
That was blood, not wine though, that time.
And it was outside on a brick wall. But we
Please explain.
did put we had a tampon pad that we stuck to her face because she had a bloody nose. And we taped it on her with
tampon
her
pad. A maxi pad.
Oh,
Tampon goes in, maxi is out.
that's right.
There's a difference.
We just
Well,
we
though.
took derby duct tape and
I was
See?
well, because I'm a bleeder.
she like
So when I
she
start
doesn't
bleeding, I
stop
don't
bleeding.
stop.
And so we had to like put some pressure on, and we did that. That was the night that there was there was young boys in the room next to us who ordered pizza, and Booty kept trying to get him to come over. Didn't happen.
No, we hung out in
No,
the room
it's-
for a long time.
I didn't.
Some of us did.
I didn't. You did? Did you go with Booty? I think you did, and I was like,
There was a few of us that went over there. I don't know. I mean, I
you
wasn't-
probably went over there with a maxi pad.
I wasn't into
You're
him.
like,
I was just partying.
no, because they were like, we're here for our graduation weekend from college.
Yeah, I got way too drunk that night. That's all I know. I just remember standing out in the parking lot, just yelling at the top of my lungs, "Where is everybody?"
I know, and I'm like, they're right here. And then she does this was the best part was so she
Here we go.
she said looks up, goes this direction with her body, and then runs at us and then hits the wall with her face. That's legit
It was
what
one
happened.
of those where you feel like you're standing up 1 second and all of a sudden the floor or the wall is right here.
It
the
just
next
looked like
second.
you were so excited to see us, and it was almost like a cartoon, and we just let it happen because it seemed like it needed to
It was
happen.
funny.
Why didn't you get like that at your party? I want to see that.
It's a different because in Derby we're
Stella wakes up
exhausted.
at 6 a.m. every night, every morning.
I mean, and aside from that, like Derby, we're sweaty, we're gross. We had a bunch of adrenaline. Usually
We're
win.
away.
We're away
Yeah.
from home.
It's not my town. You don't shit where you eat, Sarah.
podcast
Okay.
episode name. You don't share where you.
I'm putting it down. I like it.
That's also relevant to my
You
topic.
guys wanted personal
the
stories. You're getting it.
Oh, roller derby.
Oh yes.
All right.
Like, where do you even jump back in on that?
Where am I?
I'm sorry.
There was already some foreshadowing that this whole lip syncing thing was risky in front of big crowds. They did a Milwaukee stop in front of 22,000 and the vocals just didn't come on. The guys were caught looking like they were ready to start, but there was no voices to go along with it. I wanted to die, Rob told MTV. I couldn't repeat it 15 times.
Mm.
So I stopped, I panicked, I went off stage.
What'd the other guy do?
Probably just
Just
frozen. Yeah.
I would just turn my back and like move.
Yeah, because then you can pretend like you're
Dun,
just
dun, 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 dun.
But how long are you gonna do that?
Until
2 hours later. And good night.
is everyone
Connecticut.
gone yet?
Wherever that was. Milwaukee.
Mm.
They went on to win the Grammy that year, which was huge. And, you know, they demanded at that point that they were going to sing on their next album.
Mm.
Okay.
They're like, enough's enough.
Good
They
for them.
they felt so much pressure at the secret, you know, it's stressful.
And this is before social media.
Yeah.
So can you imagine like having
You'd be canceled immediately.
Yeah.
Fucking cancel culture. So Rob and Fab pressed Farian to let them showcase their true vocals. And that's when everything unraveled.
Uh-oh.
We
Yeah.
said to Frank Farian, you don't let us sing on the album. We don't do this anymore.
Mm.
So they had the big snafu where the thing was repeating over and over. So obviously they were not singing on that.
And they're literally the image of the band. So if they go away, it's done.
And Rob was like, we don't want to live like this. So Farian, because everything was about to blow up, sensed this and decided that he would be the one to expose the facade so he could control the narrative.
That happens so much with like, I'm thinking of like parents of like child stars or like or just manager, like I'm going to control the narrative of the thing that and then I'm going to profit off all of it.
And be able to just step out of it.
Yeah.
So he purposely put out his statement first. He said the guys had set an ultimatum and were greedy and cocky. And
I mean-
so the guys are left to counter this, you know?
Right. Because then it makes it look like you are the ones with no talent. You are the ones that are faking it for everybody. You wanted more. And now I'm forced to tell the lie that you told the world. That's,
It's fucked up.
The ultimate blanking.
oh, that's gaslighting
Mm-hmm.
the world.
So the guys tried to counter at a press conference where Rob said we were seduced, we were abused, and we felt very guilty. So they really tried to be accountable. They tried to own it. They never they didn't wanted it in the beginning. Yeah, they got caught up in the fame, but they were trying to get out of it.
I like that word, seduced. Yeah, they were really like
Yeah.
pulled in and roped into the whole thing.
The fallout was huge. Arista dropped them, deleted their entire catalog. Fans demanded refunds and threatened to sue for fraud. And Rob and Fab turned over their Grammy. Fab said, to lose everything so publicly was harsh. You don't know where to turn to because there's nobody around you.
That's so embarrassing. So
You're
it's
left
just a
alone.
shame.
Yep.
We were famous and now we're infamous just like that. And they were humiliated and mocked everywhere. I mean, I made fun of them.
Could you imagine, like, again, nowadays, how many memes would be out there? Thank goodness they
There
didn't.
was the version of memes back then.
What?
Yeah. Like they were mocked on in Living Color, which is
Oh,
a
the
sketch show. They were mocked on Arsenio Hall. Even when there was some scandal with Drake fairly recently, and they used Milli Vanilli hair on a meme of
I
him.
wonder if
So it
that's-
doesn't end.
What
It
if
hasn't
that's
ended.
why I know the name? Because, like, I don't know the name for the music, so why do I know the name?
Yeah, because
That's
they
interesting.
became a joke. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, Rob, I'm apologizing to you. I'm sorry. I was swept up in the, the culture. Like
We would
that's
love to
what it
have you on
was.
for an interview.
Oh my God, I doubt Rob.
Young.
Send him an email.
And I remember feeling, I really felt sad at the time because I remember.
I mean, Fab, sorry.
I really loved them. I like
Now
their music.
now they're not coming on.
Well, Rob can't, which I'm going to mention in a minute.
I like
Oh
the
my
music.
gosh,
And
you
then I
did.
remember hearing it was fake and it made me sad because I'm like, oh, I really like these guys.
Well, the music was real.
Right.
It was real
Okay,
music,
well,
just they weren't singing it.
Okay, and what about the poor
Right.
people in the background that
Yeah.
never got any credit whatsoever or
Okay.
fame ever?
At least I got to sneak out. They were like,
They're like
they
had
like
pockets of cash, like this sucks.
danced out the back
Boom.
door. Like,
Danced out. Okay.
Well, I mean, I have a relative that just passed away that wrote all kinds of famous songs and nobody knows her name.
Wow.
She wrote the Friends theme song.
What?
She wrote the Color Purple Broadway musical. She wrote Neutron Dance, lots of Pointer Sisters songs. She wrote the famous Earth, Wind and Fire September song. Nobody knows her name.
Kudos to all those unnamed artists.
yeah.
I mean, you have a name and your name is on the things. We're just kudos to those who many are ignorant of your existence.
I'm so sorry.
We love your
I
music.
mixed up Rob and Fab's names, but
Yeah.
in my defense, those names are very similar. 3 letters,
I mean, they do both have three
end with
letters.
B.
That's
In my
true.
defense.
Okay, there was two. There was two. I mean, I wasn't gonna give it to you, but
Yeah. 2 out of 3. We're good.
So what was horrible is, though, I mean, looking back and like really diving into the story, which I never had before, is all the hate and blame was really placed on Rob and Fab. Like they were the faces of the scandal.
It was all their fault.
I never heard about the other guy's name until I researched it.
what was his
Sneaky
name? That's why you
snake.
said it like that.
Nefarious.
Farian. Frank
Farian.
Farian.
Nefarious Farian.
Sounds
Yes.
like
Ooh, I
nefarious.
remember Nasty Nassar.
And Nefarious Farian.
Turd.
So I watched a lot of interviews with Fab, and he is such a cool guy. Like
So
he's
Fab.
really been
Lives
able
up to
to
his name.
find peace, and
Cool.
with the whole thing, he approaches life with positivity
Aw,
and forgiveness. Like
I love that.
he doesn't carry any of it.
I wish. I
He's like
could
super
model that.
cool guy.
I wish I did.
It's really neat. I don't hold grudges, so I feel like I would be a Rob in life.
Sarah's canceling me.
I mean a Fab.
I did
sorry.
not sign a consent form.
I said it. I mixed them up again.
She's not listening to it. That's fine.
Sorry, I just need to stop saying their names because I keep
Oh,
mixing
did you
them up.
mix it again?
I did.
Oh, that's why she's hyper focused
Mhm.
right now.
Rob, however, never rebounded from the whole thing.
Hmm.
Suicide.
Rob didn't do well with humiliation. Being punched every day in the public eye leaves marks. The only way he could deal with it for him was the addiction, said Fab. So Rob had attempted to kill himself by jumping off a building. But he was found dead later from an overdose of alcohol and pills when he was age 33 in 1998. And his death just devastated Fab because they had felt like brothers through so long. And Fab said,
It's heartbreaking.
when I heard the news of Rob's death, everything went blank for a moment. Silence.
Mhm.
It was like losing a part of myself. In order to honor him and for myself, I said a vow that I would do my thing and I would make sure the name Milli Vanilli itself means when you fall, you stand back up and you move on, which I love.
That's so nice.
And Fab said initially when like the whole thing blew up, his initial feeling was relief that the secrecy was over. You know, other emotions came on after that,
Right.
but the initial was relief, which I can totally relate to. So they actually wrapped up filming a biopic on the story in December. So soon to come. I hope they do the story really justice.
Right.
Because even now, if you look it up, a lot of it is going to be like, oh, the scandal, Milli Vanilli faked everybody out.
Right,
It was a
it's all
ruse.
shock value.
Well, and it still is like blaming them, like they did something wrong instead of really like showing the true story behind it, where I feel like they were actually victims.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and specifically, these people came from different parts of the world. Like if there's talk about cultural impact too of yeah, I completely agree, and it's really unfair and sad.
It is.
It sounds like a grooming situation, like grooming, like how you said seduced and,
Mhm.
you know, like offered.
They're so young.
And
Well,
they
and
had no money, so
Yeah.
of course they're gonna go for that and thought that there was gonna be a better outcome, and then it just kept,
and this is why it
they
keeps
were trapped.
They were taken advantage of.
keeps making me think of children actors and their parent managers, because they like, you trust that your parents have the best
Like
interest
Britney
in mind for
Spears.
you. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they're gonna do the best for you, and they have the best, like, and you are hoping that's what your manager is
I just
doing.
read one article about Jenna something from iCarly. Have you ever
Oh,
heard that story?
yeah,
Similar-
not the story, but
She's the
I
one
know
that wrote the
Jenna.
book that said like, I'm glad my mom's dead. Or I'm glad my mom died like last year.
So it says,
Yeah.
I'm glad my mom, and it got like some people had some big feelings about
What's a
that.
shocking title?
It is intentionally so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that was kind of like part of it though, like she was started working because she was trying to make money because for the family, and for her mom was like pushing her.
Possibly a future topic.
Possibly.
Wow, I now know who Milli Vanilli is, and I now know more than just the name.
Yeah. Watch the videos.
The more you know. Seriously, listen to our podcast.
If you didn't listen to our last podcast, Macie talked about. I talked about the existence of real giants.
No.
The
I
redheaded
remember,
giants
I
of
remember.
ancient Nevada.
And I talked about Hollywood's
Yes.
abuse of animals and Edison's elephant.
Tragic, and disturbing for sure. Oh, we should rate our topics on the
Can
Disturbometer.
you tell them about your artwork too, and your collage?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm making a hastily made collage for each of our podcasts.
So from
artworks.
last episode on, you'll see Naomi's OG artwork on there. If you're lucky, maybe you'll win it in a raffle someday when we decide to do that shit.
Maybe.
Just made it up, so we'll see.
And please consider being our patron on Patreon. It's only $1 and it buys our wine and gas money, and
And you may be
you get exclusive content.
you may be dealing with some bystander effect where you're like, hey, other people are probably giving enough, so I don't need to participate because they're being taken care of and I do care about them. That's not
We're
true.
not being
We're
taken
not.
care of.
No. Until next time.
Blame it on the rain.
And
Girl, you know it's true.
my
Poker face.
bye.